What's up, y'all? It's Cameron from Propel Hitting, where we make success in baseball and softball tangible and give you tangible ways to work on your mental game, because your mental feeds the physical. So what's the difference between being a hitter and a good swing person? Well, I think there's a ton, and we're going to talk about it right now, right here. So I've heard it stated that the last 5 to 7 years, there's been a swing revolution in baseball and softball. And I would tend to agree with that. I think that's very true. What's happened is all the information, some of the information, lots of the information is getting out. People are using social media, YouTube, the internet, Google, websites, all the stuff to put stuff out and help people and build businesses and all the stuff. And in comparison, there didn't used to be the same amount of information. The only place you could really get it was from your coach, your school ball, select ball coach, your swing coach, pitching coach, whatever it was. Now there's more information out there than we even really know what to do with. It's kind of crazy. And what happened was there was a lot of people my age, a little bit younger, that learned a lot of information about the swing after we got done playing. And it was crazy because we were like, man, if I'd have had this information, it would have been completely different for me. So now I'm going to take this information and I'm going to give it away to people. I'm going to help people do this. I'm going to help. Well, the hard part about that is information alone doesn't really do a whole lot. The reason that we think and gather information and watch videos and do this is to stimulate our brain. What happens when our brain gets information is it lights up like a Christmas tree and it starts learning and intaking and making like pairings. They're called synaptic connections, like a memory or learning something. The whole goal of information is to stimulate the brain so there's breakthrough and there's learning. Well, a lot of times the information doesn't turn into learned understanding until there's some experience to it. And if you are a person that has a lot of experience, then you get the information, you can become a superpower. But without the combination of experience and information's just ink. It's just words. It's just stuff on a paper. It's just stuff on a phone. That's it. Without the experience, without the learning, moving from intaking to learning, it doesn't really do anything. We've got to get into understanding. And what happens a lot of times when we focus on the swing all by itself is we don't get to an understanding level. We just take in information and information. We get really smart with that information. So there's a difference between being smart and having wisdom. Wisdom has experience and mistakes and information. Information is just intaking, gathering the stuff. Information is knowing all the things that you need to cook a hamburger, but you've never cooked one before. Wisdom is knowing how to use the tools. The tools themselves don't do it for us. Knowing how to use the tools is where the sweet sauce is. So what's happened is now there's tons and tons of information out there, but the understanding, the experience hasn't been there as much. So when I talk about the difference between a hitter and a good swing person, our swing is part of being a hitter, but there are multiple parts of being a hitter. It's knowing how to win in a situation. It's knowing how to read an arm. It's knowing how to pick up on tendencies of a catcher or a pitcher. It's knowing all of these things. It's playing the game within the game, having the wisdom to know, hey, this guy likes to do this. He likes to get ahead, especially late in the game. So I'm going to look this so my pretty swing can show up. The training is absolutely necessary. The information is absolutely necessary. Anybody who tells you it's not is lying. You have to have the information. But just like we talked about a couple weeks ago, you can have success without perfect results. You can have success without a perfect swing. You can have success with flaws. It's going to happen. It happens all the time. The best hitter I've ever seen in person and played with had the most god-awful, ugly, disgusting swing ever. But he hit almost 600 at JUCO. He was a JUCO All-American. Got signed out of JUCO. Ridiculous. Dude's swing was atrocious. Absolutely disgusting, bro. He knew how to get his swing to help him as the hitter. The hitter is the part that we have to be elite at. We have to understand the swing. Then we have to understand how we think as a baseball player. Then we have to understand how we think as a person, because all of those are going to be a little bit different because we learned and had different things going on. And so those are formed a little bit different. Even if I myself make the same cake 3 times, it's gonna be a little bit different. Flour is gonna be different. The oven may heat differently. I may put a little bit more salt. I may let it sit in there longer. There's so many variables. It's going to look the same, taste similar, but it's gonna be different. It's the same thing when it comes to the formation of the swing, formation of the baseball player, formation of the person. Those are all different. They make up the hitter. How do I produce results? How do I stay calm? How do I focus? How do I keep my conscious brain in check so the back of my brain can show up? That's being a hitter. Anybody can have a pretty swing. Anybody can do the drills. Anybody can do that stuff. But what happens when you only have a pretty swing, you're a BP king. And that's it. You win 5 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. And what we want to do is win game time, not cage time. Cage time's important. But what happens is us as players, we want to feel good. We want to look good. We have to do those things. And what it does is it cripples us. It gets us focused on perfect results or looking perfect or feeling perfect, when in reality, when we're in the cage, that's the time to dig. That's the time to go through stuff. That's the time to fail a lot. Because we're going to fail, right? Remember the goal, 1 for 3 every game. That's it. That's the goal. So if we don't fail here, where are we going to fail? We're going to fail in the game. And when we rely solistically on our swing, that rope ends. The hitter rope, right, has 3 attachments. The swing rope has 1. So we have to focus time on each part that make up the hitter, because the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how pretty your swing is or how it looks or how this or how hard you hit. If you can't do in-game results, it doesn't matter. There's a saying in the coach's world that I think is super true. Potential gets you fired. And that comes from, think about like going to a football game or a basketball game or something. Think about a football game. You got this dude who's like 6'6", 330 pounds, and he's on the sideline. What's the first thing you're thinking about that coach? Dude, why the heck is he in the game? And then the game goes on and they're losing. Like, dude, put him in the game. Why aren't you putting him in the game? And what you don't know is that he's slow, soft, all the things that prevent him from doing. He looks the part, but he's not complete, right? You may have a baseball player who looks this, runs this, does this, but every time he gets up there, he freezes because he's thinking about his swing, not winning the explosion on the ball. So remember, swing is important, but it's one concept. It is not elite to just have a pretty good swing. We got to know who we are as a hitter, a person, and all those have to work together so we can hit. What we're trying to do is find out ways of how we produce results with our swing. Our results lets our hitter come out, lets our hitter show out, let the intangibles that all the eyewash people will talk about show up. That's not going to show up just with a swing. So if you want to be able to see more results, stop just working on your swing. Bro, there's not one drill that's going to fix it. I'm just telling you, Doc, I've come up with so many drills and done all this stuff, and man, if I used it with one person, I can't use it for the next person. It's not universal. Stop looking. Stop looking. It's not there. If you want success, building a hitter is hard, takes grit, a bunch of failure, and it sucks. But when the hitter shows up, man, it's fun. If you're willing to work alone, look bad alone, you will be able to perform under the lights. Look like absolute dog crap in here so you can look great and perform great while the lights are on. Keep grinding, y'all. This is Cameron with Propel Hitting. Keep going, keep growing, embrace it so you can make it.